What's going on YouTube? And the King has returned with a new video. And today, man, I felt like being like in a Naruto mood today. I'm decked out with Naruto gear on, my rings and whatnot. But I'm gonna tell you like this: if you guys see me doing this, don't come at me. Just let me be. Let me have my moment. Other than that, today I'm gonna be edumacating y'all. I said exactly the way I said edumacate. And if you got a problem with that one too, you can get these hands. But other than that, in this video, I'm gonna be giving you guys some tips and tricks on how to build a collection if you haven't started building one yet. And for those of you who have started a collection or have a collection already going, but I'm gonna be showing you guys some sites that I specifically use that I get a lot of my video games from that were only digital media and put the physical media games that were only exclusive to certain regions like Europe and Asia. And also, if you don't have a certain system that you use to catalog all your video games, I'm gonna be showing you guys an app that I specifically use to catalog and to price out all the video games that I get. And without further ado, this is the King's address. Let's get started. Now, the first site I wanted to go over is probably and most likely the most popular website that everybody knows if you're a big time collector or getting into collecting and whatnot, especially for games that were only digital media first and then being put onto physical, whether it's PlayStation, whether it's Nintendo Switch, even now Xbox and PC gaming, is LRG, otherwise known as Limited Run Games. This site has been around, these guys have been around for quite some years. They've actually been around way before the pandemic kicked in, and I've been using them during the times of the pandemic. I started really using them around 2019, and they've been really good to me so far. I've gotten a lot of things from Limited Run. Limited Run has given me like just a large amount of games, especially between the Switch and the PS4. I've gotten so much stuff from them. They're a great site to use if you're looking for games that are not in physical media form. These are the guys to go to. Now, to give you kind of an update on how they use their, how they do their games and whatnot, they do open pre-orders. So basically, open pre-orders is just you have a limited window time. Usually, it's about a month, and you have the time to order the games. They do take your money right from the start. So as soon as you put an order in, they take your money instantly. There is wait times for these guys. It usually takes about a couple of months depending on what game you're getting and also which version you're getting. So for instance, something like right here with Spider Swords, they have a regular edition or the standard edition, and then there's the collector's edition. Sometimes they have a retro or something else specifically, but collector's editions usually take a much longer time span to get to you, based upon the fact that they have a lot more things that they have to produce, not just a simple cartridge and case, but they have to produce all the extra stuff. Like for instance, in this game right here, this particular collector's edition comes with all this cool stuff like a poster, what else? A soundtrack, a mega sticker, a ticket, things like that. But they take your money right as soon as you make an order. Now, they also have a physical store up in North Carolina that opened up last year during the summertime. And I've had a lot of guys, I have some friends down there, buddies I would call, that get me some games that if I ask them, hey, can you go pick up this and pick up that game for me? I just send them the money over and they ship them to me, which has been great for the fact that store has been there. But to give you guys also an honest review of this site, they have some difficult practices, I would say. A lot of the times where like recently they did something called the blowout sale, and they usually do it every year after New Year's. There were some games that supposedly were gone, and somehow they still appeared on the site, and or in this case of something called blind boxes. So a game, for instance, like what is it called? Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, which is one I'm still looking for to this day. It's crazy expensive. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse game was supposed to be gone. Come to find out, they're apparently going to be in the blind boxes, possibly with a small percentage of you getting that. That's one thing. Also, some of their collector's editions be just too out of just. It's not. Some of the collector's editions don't be worth the money. It just depends on what you're looking for. But overall, the site is really good. I really personally have no issues with them. I don't mind them at all. I do support them in ways that I like, just because of the fact that they are only the place I can get certain games from, and hopefully a lot of these games are starting to appear on Amazon specifically because they distribute through Amazon. But I would give these guys pretty much almost an A. I would give them probably an A ranking just because of how they've treated me. A lot of people go through limited run games to get a lot of their stuff and to collect their games, and they're based, as you can see, it says forever physical. So I like LRG. LRG is pretty cool. Now, another site that I really, really love, and I regret not using them sooner, and this site is Play Asia. They've been around since 2002, which is just crazy. But these guys have been around for, as you saw, 2002. But a lot of the games, I like this site because they have their own exclusives. They have their own Play Asia exclusives, like Mugen Souls here is exclusive to Play Asia. It's the only way you can get it is through Play Asia. They also do push out games. They also sell like regular games that you can find in regular retail stores. They do ESRB games, which is of course the American version, and they also do PEGI versions and the Asia versions as well. So you can get just about any version of a certain game. If they supply it, you can probably find it. But the cool thing about them is they do a lot of different sales. They allow, they do take your money right off the rip. But they do have a large library of games in all types of different media, whether it's Vita, whether it's Switch, whether it's PlayStation 4, any console that you're looking for, they have it. Now, they also do sell like toys, as you can see, toys, lifestyle, movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, music, soundtracks, books even. They sell a lot of different stuff, but I use them mainly for video games. And I have really enjoyed Play Asia. Play Asia gives you a lot of cool little stuff when you buy their, when you buy their games and whatnot. They even put them in a nice box when they ship out your games, and they give you like cool little trinkets, like stickers or a thank you note or a 5% coupon if they even have that going on. And they also do free shipping depending on how much money you spend. Most of the time they do, as long as you spend over $100, you get free shipping. But Play Asia, I really enjoyed this site. I really enjoy using them. They are a great site. If I had to put any website out there in the world that I can say that's really good that I will use to this day and to the end of time, it would be Play Asia. Play Asia supplies me in so many different ways, and I love them, and they do such a great job. Now, the next site that I use, that I really have enjoyed them. I didn't discover them until literally late 2021, and it is Red Art Games, or RAG, which some people will probably say RAG depending on what it is. They are a European-based website, meaning that they only supply PEGI versions of games. They only supply the PEGI versions. Now, some of the games that are PEGI releases off of this website, they are slowly starting to come to the US. We're starting to get American versions of certain games from these guys, but there are some games that are specifically only to them. And one of these games, like right here, I've never been able to say, Iridian Chronicle, which absolutely looks gorgeous, by the way. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So far, this is the only site that I've seen so far, I think, that actually has this game being pushed out through them. Red Art Games is the only site that I've seen that has this game specifically. And they have a bunch of other games out there that are exclusive to them, but most of the games are starting to slowly come over to the US to be published and developed and whatnot. Like say for limited run games, and also Amazon, eBay, not eBay, excuse me, but Amazon specifically, and even GameStops I've seen, and Best Buys are starting to get some of the games that they have from the European sites are starting to come over here. But Red Art Games is really cool. They do sales all the time. They do also soundtracks that you can see like right here. They're doing like different vinyl records. They're starting to get into that. But Red Art is pretty cool. I don't really buy off of their specific website, only because of the fact that most of their games are starting to hit other sites that I'm going to be showing you in this video as well. But Red Art Games is pretty cool, and some of their games are good, some are not so great, but most of them are decent. Now, another game site that I use that I absolutely love more than a lot of different sites that I go on to is Super Rare Games, otherwise known as SRG. There's going to be two different SRGs I'm going to be talking about here, but this is the first one. SRG, otherwise known as Super Rare Games. These guys are phenomenal. I mean phenomenal. A rank and almost S tier rank. These guys here they're good in quality. Like they're great in quality. Actually, they're great in quality. When you go to their, go on their site, it's an easy navigatable site. These guys do a lot of stuff, and they give you a lot of cool little knickknacks and trinkets when you buy a game from them. They put it in this nice little this crazy packaging with a sticker on it. The game is sealed. Specifically, the game is sealed, but they put this nice packaging around it. They give you like stickers. Sometimes some games I've gotten were coming with like a soundtrack inside or something like crazy cool. They give booster pack trading cards and stuff like that. But these guys are really cool. I like Super Rare. Super Rare has always been great to me. They even do these triple packs, and they do this in waves. So they'll release one game, then they'll do another game within another month or so, and then they do the last game. And then once you get all 3 games that are released out from Super Rare, they ship out the entire thing. But of course, you gotta kind of wait and see. As you can see right here, they have the first game called Source of Madness, but they haven't shown the other 2 games yet. So now, quality of games from them, again, this is another European site. They only do the PEGI versions. The quality of games from them can be sometimes lackluster. I don't like everything that they put out. I really don't necessarily care for every game they put out. Some of the games are kind of just, they don't look interesting. Some games look actually pretty decent. They look kind of cool, but most of the games that I've seen, except for like a limited few, I don't really care for. Some of these games are kind of just like, I can pass. But Super Rare Games, when I do buy a game from them, I love them. I think they're absolutely great. I love them to death, and I mean, to this day, I have never said anything other than the fact that these guys deserve all the praise they do, especially with the quality when they ship out the games to you. So Super Rare Games, I really enjoy them. I give them a good grade on this one. Now, another website that I want to get into that I slowly just started using, and another PEGI release-only game site that I use is Signature Edition. Now, the crazy... excuse me. Ugh. I'm dying over here.
Coronavirus!
But, Signature Edition, these guys here, I've never specifically used up until literally the end of last year. Literally up at the end of last year. Signature Edition, pretty much they do the PEGI versions of the games that we're getting across, in the US and whatnot. Like I showed them one of my other videos, the Outbound Ghost, but they have the PEGI version. All the games that they have, we pretty much have over here as well. They just do the PEGI version, but they do special editions for certain games, like this Shredder's Revenge game, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Their version is different than the version we got from Limited Run. They give kind of like a headband, some enamel pins, and some other little things. They're a little different on the special edition side of things, but Signature Edition is actually pretty cool. I've only bought one game from them, and I haven't used them since, just because I don't mind PEGI releases, just I'd rather wait and see if they get a ESRB version over here. And most of the time I'm right that they do decide to do an American version of this game. So, but if you're looking for special edition of games and you're alright with PEGI releases and you like the cooler stuff, sometimes they put some cooler stuff than what we get. If you want to get some of that stuff, Signature Edition is actually pretty cool. I like them a lot. Now, this one is actually over here. It has its own video game store. It's actually called Video Games New York. There is an actual physical store up in New York City that they you can buy games from as well. And these guys here are absolutely great. I've never physically been in the store, but I've seen pictures of the store, and they are absolutely awesome. They do supply games from Limited Run, from Play Asia, from I think Super Rare is starting to slowly come onto them as well. I think Super Rare, they're starting to get games from them. Like right here, I can see it right, the River City Girls 1 and 2, the Asian version. But the cool thing about these guys is that they also are a part of Video Games New York Soft, which is the publishing game. These guys, they take homebrew Dreamcast games. They actually sell homebrew Dreamcast games. Like there's Postal, there's Shadow Gangs, Hermes. They actually they're selling Dreamcast games. If you're looking for some Dreamcast homebrew games that never really got released, these are now starting to become brand new games. Like a lot of Dreamcast games are starting to come out. They're brand new ones that never been released before. But these guys are really cool. I like Video Games New York. They have a lot of games if you're looking for them that you couldn't find anymore through LRG, through Play Asia. they do get those games in their store as well and on their website. Now, you will probably have to spend a little bit more money to get. You might have to spend some money, but Video Games New York is pretty cool. I like them a lot. Hopefully one day I would like to go into the store and physically see what's going on. Now, the other SRG site that I really use a lot of, or at least I use regularly in some type of ways, is Special Reserve Games. Now, I'm gonna put out there the negative parts of these guys. Special Reserve Games, or Special Reserve, excuse me. Special Reserve, they have some scrutiny behind them right now. They have a lot of stuff going on where their games are now starting to populate onto other sites, such as LRG. I believe also they're starting to pop up in regular retail stores like GameStops and the Best Buys and Walmarts and Targets, and even Amazon. Their games that were originally exclusive to their site are now starting to pop up in other places, which they cannot particularly control. You can't be mad at them for that. Like I know Cult of the Lamb is now starting to be put out in regular retail stores like at GameStop, Amazon. Those guys are starting to get those games. There's some other games out here. I know Demon Thrall you can buy at a GameStop right now to this day. Also, now the big thing about, and the reason why that is the way it is that it's a licensing privilege. It's a licensing privilege, and at one point, these were the only guys you can go to buy certain games like Demon Throttle, and also Trek to Yumi and whatnot, and even Cult of the Lamb. At first, this was the only site to go onto, but apparently now, I guess licensing has changed and whatnot. It's probably expired, and now these games are starting to appear in other places. Also, sometimes they do get hit with delays. They're not the greatest when it comes to customer service in the sense of like emailing you back if you have an issue, whether it's simply just trying to get an update on an order, if you made a mistake somewhere, or you're trying to ship something back because of a damage. They're not the greatest site in the world on the sense of customer service. I like them. They put out a lot of great games, but they have some flaws with them. But Special Reserve, if you want to give them a chance to look at them, I've used them. I haven't had really any issues per se personally, but I have seen some issues with them. But just give them a check out and see what happens. But don't expect their games to only be on their site. Most of their games will possibly jump into other stores. Now, I don't even know how to I don't even know how to start with this site. This site here, Strictly Limited. These guys are very interesting. I will tell you that. Strictly Limited Games, or SLG for short. Strictly Limited has some good stuff on their website, but they also have a lot of scrutiny behind them. Mainly because of the fact, I believe this is a German site, if I'm correct, from what I remember being told when I first started using them. These guys here I started using back around the end of 2021 and going into 2022. They have a lot of games that I really like, but they're starting to appear in the US in regular stores and also limited run games. The problem with this site, though, and as bad as I don't want to talk about them, they do sell some really cool stuff. Like their collector's editions, their stuff that they sell are absolutely great. Their editions, premium, specials, standards, all of them, they're really cool. But you could be waiting quite a while before you actually get your game. You will be waiting some time, like not just months, even possibly years. There was even a couple of games off of this website that were they were delayed for so long. People were waiting about a year and a half, 2 years almost. Which, and don't get me wrong, Limited Run also had the issue. Of course, we know COVID did a lot of the issues. I had a lot of problems. They caused a lot of problems for a lot of these different sites to manufacture these games. But other than that, I know people have been using them and they say, yeah, you'd be waiting for a minute. But Strictly Limited does have a lot of good games on their site. They have a large collection of video games. Check them out. They are decent, but you will be waiting for some time on the video game. If you do place an order, you will wait some time. Also getting back, if you're looking for emails similar to what Special Reserve does, customer service is not the greatest as well. And that's the sites that I specifically use that are only limited print runs of games. Of course, there's GameStops, there's Best Buys, there's Walmart, there's Targets, there's all kinds of different places you can go. But these sites here that I showed you guys are sites that are they have no physical store, and the only way you can get these games, certain games even specifically, is through these sites. Now, the cool thing about these guys is, like I said, they have great quality of games on all the sites. They have, some pros. They have pros for them, but they also have some cons. The major thing I'm always going to tell you, and once again, I'm going to reiterate, is the wait times. Understand that when you go onto these sites and you make an order, you're going to wait a little while. Just because they have to manufacture the game and then they have to ship it out once it's done. But these guys, a lot of those sites are really good. Some sites are kind of questionable. But I would say that. Now, real quick, going into this, for those of you who are starting your collection or want to start a collection, I'm going to give you a couple of tips to start off with. I've been collecting video games for over a decade. I don't see myself ever slowing down. I don't see myself ever stopping from buying video games, mainly just because it's a passion of mine. I love it. It brings me joy and happiness to my spirit, to my soul. It brings me happiness. I love just walking into my room and seeing all my video games, and there's even more on the other side of the video that you can't even see. And I will be doing a video of a game room tour showing off all my stuff as best as I can, giving you guys so much to look at. But mainly, if you're starting to build a collection, you're kind of a little late, not gonna lie. It's a little time because of the fact of people are now scalping, people are reselling for high amounts, larger than they should be. But it has deflated especially since COVID kind of fell off. But in retrospective of all of this and whatnot, video game collecting, if you want to get into it, now is a good time to start doing it. If you're going to start collecting video games, one thing I'm going to tell you, be strategic and smart with your money. Some of these games are very expensive. Some of these games are not that expensive. If you're looking to build your collection up, be smart and look. And not even just through the sites that I showed you, because some of those sites are only, there's certain games that you may not find. There might be games out there, especially old school games like PlayStation 1s, 2s, Wii's, 64s, N64, Genesis, Game Gear even, Game Boy games even as well. If you're looking to start getting those games, scavenge those websites, find those stores. There's a lot of retro stores out there. Go out into the city and explore some video game stores if you can find some local stores. Check online if you're going to do a lot of your shopping online. eBay, Mercari, Amazon, the three main ones that I use. I use eBay a lot because of the picture aspect. They show off a lot of pictures of video games and show the quality and the condition of the games and whatnot. But don't just buy the first game that you see that someone posted up. Don't just buy the first one right off the wrap. You might find it cheaper. Also, if you're doing bid, be patient. Don't just shoot out a bid when you're on eBay and you're trying to get this game because you really, really want it, and just put out from $30 and starting a bid, and you want to put out $150 because you want to get it guaranteed. I don't always do that. I always wait till the last day when the sale's about to end on the bids, and then I try to see if I can snipe it. I know some people don't really like that, but it depends on how bad it gets at that day, because you may go from $30 right now, 2 days later, okay, now the sale's about to end, and then guess what? All of a sudden it shoots up $70. But be smart about your video games. Number 2, piece your games together. A lot of people are gonna go for CIB, otherwise known as complete in box. You don't always have to go straight up complete in box. I prefer to go that way. If you can buy it complete in box, hey, by all means, shoot for it. I'm all down with it. But if I know the game is very expensive and it's hard to get CIB because of the fact that it is so expensive, finding the manual, the cover art, the disc, and the condition of the game, I will piece it together. So I may get disc only at first, then I might find the case, may find the manual separate, and just complete it like that. That is a good way to make your game complete if there's a specific one you're looking for. Another way that I do as well with video games, if you're buying video games and starting to build a collection, nothing is wrong with doing trades. You might want to buy a bunch of video games, some cheap games and whatnot, and be like, hey, I want to trade these games for your game. Nothing is wrong with trading. Trading is a big part of how I got some of my games and whatnot. I do trades with some people for games that I've never had before, or they have something that I have already, and I have 2 extra copies or 3 extra copies of it just because of whatever reason. And I may do a trade. You never know. But in those cases and points, those are a few tips that I've used over the course, but be smart about it and don't go crazy. People can go into debt because of video games. We can get broke, and I mean,
we broke, five broke. We ain't got it.
But in the overall case in point, those are my tips on when you go into video games and buying video games and starting your collection. Also, you know, just take your time, have fun with it. That's the overall tip I can give you. Enjoy it. I know people look at it as a investment, and it is now. It is an investment now. But I look at it as not just an investment. I look at it as something as a nice hobby. It's fun for me. It brings me joy going out hunting for video games, you know, enjoying the company I may have, talking about video games with just random gamers and collectors out there, and just learning about new stuff that I didn't even know about. And I know a lot about video games in general, but have fun with it. That's the biggest thing I can tell you about when you're trying to build a collection. Have fun. It's all about the journey when you're going to find video games. Nothing's wrong with that, but enjoy it. And also, before I leave you with this, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys this. So there's a site that I use relatively a lot, and I'm gonna show it to you guys right here. If I can get the camera angle just right, if I can, there we go. This site right here is GameEye. GameEye is literally the best application I've ever used. I mean, ever, to catalog my video games. And not only does it catalog my video games, it catalogs my systems, it catalogs my peripherals, basically like controllers, extra pieces like accessories, things like that, like gun cons and the little like gun, the duck hunt gun, things like that. The DDR mats, if you're looking for those. Toys of Life, which is another piece of it, basically like the amiibos, different just toys for games and things like that. It also catalogs that. But the coolest thing about this site, about using this application, that not only will it tell you the games that you have once you catalog them, when you catalog in these games, it will also give you the different price point. If I can get it just right, if I can get it right up in there. Man, it's kind of hard. I hate that I can't get it for you guys. But basically on this application, it'll tell you the year it was released, the genre that it goes on to, or what platform it's on. It will also give you the breakdowns of loose, complete in box, sealed, also what the box goes for, and also what the manual goes for, which is really, really cool if it actually had a sale on it. And it calculates it all through the different sites like Amazon, eBay. Also, it uses another site called Video Games Plus or some junk like that. I don't know what it uses. It uses a bunch of stuff randomly. But those sites uses price charting. That's what it is. I couldn't even remember off the top of my head, price charting. It uses those sites and calculates it all together, and it also gives a description of the game, all kinds of cool stuff. It's a great application. It is also on iOS and Android, so you can get on any phone possible, that as long as it's a touchscreen phone, a new generation phone. But I really love the site. It does wonders for me, and it helps keep up with your stuff. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had some fun looking at this stuff. I hope I gave you some knowledge in order to build your collection if you haven't started building one. And for those of you who have started already building a collection or have a collection and never knew any about these sites, I hope these guys will be something that will, I gave you some information that will help you building your collection even more. And with that, I thank you all. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. Hit that like button. Comment, let me know what you guys think about this video, and let me know what you guys want me to talk about next. And with that, the king has spoken. Thank you all. I will see you all in the next video. I'm out.